Namo Phat. Thanks so much for joining me for a daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This wonderful sound calls us back to our true home. The third mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I vow to cultivate responsibility and learn ways to protect the safety and integrity of individuals, couples, families, and society. I'm determined not to engage in sexual relations without love and a long-term commitment. To preserve the happiness of myself and others, I am determined to respect my commitments and the commitments of others. I will do everything in my power to protect children from sexual abuse and to prevent couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. For our Dharma lessons, we've been reading More Than Mindfulness, Widening the Field of Practice by the Monastics of the Thai Forest Sangha. Today we're continuing in a talk by Ajahn Sona called Focused Attention, Panoramic Awareness. In modern times, it's very interesting that we have this awareness of the brain as a kind of center of consciousness, and it has two hemispheres. It seems that in modern brain science, they're understanding more and more that the left hemisphere takes care of the specific applications of mindfulness to details, and the right hemisphere looks at the larger picture as it processes and interprets the whole thing. You might think of this as sati sampajanya. We can't isolate sati from sampajanya. You have a practice at home as lay people. In the morning, you may sit for half an hour or even an hour watching the breath, focusing, concentrating, and then you will tackle the day. You have to go to work, you have to deal with relationships and a lot of other things. That is the time when your sampajanya is still required. How do you conduct yourself? What is appropriate? What is inspiring to other people? What helps change the atmosphere of a room? When you walk in, how do you walk in? How do you hold yourself? How do you speak? This is part of the satipatthana. Although we're focusing on the word sati, we can't leave off this sampajanya. Another simile for this is that a bird also has a hemisphere cleavage in the brain. The bird must use a great deal of attention to pick out seeds from amongst grains of sand. How does the bird not eat the sand and just get the seed? By very close attention. But while the bird is doing that, they also need not to be surprised by a predator. So you'll see them looking around. They have appropriate awareness of the environment because something wants to eat them while they want to eat the seeds. The deer are the same. They're constantly having to browse, but at the same time, having to be hypervigilant and aware of their entire surroundings. Our mind does two things and needs to do two things. It needs to pay attention to the small details, but it also needs to pay attention to the overarching sense of the world around us. May all beings be well, may all beings be happy, may all beings be peaceful. Namo Phat. Thanks so much for joining me tonight.